Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
Venezuela's most violent gang, which has already sparked chaos across the U.S., has moved its headquarters to the outskirts of a major American city, DailyMail.com can exclusively reveal. Dubbed the epitome of evil, the notorious criminal organization Tren de Aragua, or TDA as it is known by federal agents, previously operated out of an infamous South American prison so completely under gang leaders' control that it had its own zoo, swimming pool, and nightclub. But after Kingpin Hector Guerrero Flores escaped last year, the Mafia moved its command center to Ciudad Juarez in Mexico on the U.S. border, directly across from El Paso, Texas, local officials told DailyMail.com. El Paso officials, who asked to remain anonymous, now fear gang violence will spill over into Texas' sixth largest city, which is currently ranked among the top 10 safest in America by the FBI. Dozens of gangsters have already been caught trying to sneak into the U.S., with those who have been successful unleashing a terrifying crime wave across the country from Dallas to New York. Border Patrol agents are now on high alert and have been warned to check migrants for telltale tattoos that can help identify gang members. Tren de Aragua is the epitome of evil, Congressman Tony Gonzalez, who represents El Paso, said. This gang is known to rape children, spearhead murders, and cause widespread chaos. Law enforcement in El Paso is currently working on a confidential plan to address the growing threat, insiders told DailyMail.com. But Mexican authorities have been willing to speak more openly about TDA's troubling arrival in Juarez. We're tracking them in Ciudad Juarez, that's where they specifically have their principal point of operations, revealed the State Secretary of Public Safety Gilberto Loya. They're not an easy gang to track, because they don't act like a traditional gang. Members do not look or speak in a specific way, but are up to their old tricks, Loya explained. Since forming behind the walls of the Tocaron prison in the Venezuelan state of Aragua, Tren de Aragua, Spanish for Train of Aragua, is now linked to widespread human and sex trafficking on the South American continent. Law enforcement now considers the gang as dangerous as El Salvador's Mara Salvatrucha or MS-13. TDA succeeded in transforming itself from a group of prison thugs to one of the most dangerous criminal gangs in the world, partly because the Venezuelan government allowed its incarcerated leaders, known as PRANs, to run the penitentiary. From there, TDA's influence spread to neighborhoods across Venezuela through the establishment of alliances with smaller gangs, according to InsightCrime.org. In 2018, the gang went international, moving over the border to neighboring Colombia where they began to exploit their countrymen fleeing the Venezuela's communist regime. While larger Colombian groups focused on drug trafficking, Tren de Aragua began to exploit Venezuelan migrants systematically, charging them extortion fees, smuggling them into and throughout Colombia, and taking control of various nodes of the human trafficking for sexual exploitation market, the crime publication stated. Now in northern Mexico, TDA is once again taking advantage of desperate migrants. Gangsters are charging huge fees to smuggle migrants to the U.S. border and then into Texas. However, the mobsters are also kidnapping migrants who have made it to the U.S.-Mexico border without their help in a bid to make even more money. According to the security reports we have, this group of Venezuelans, Tren de Aragua, control which migrants can ride the train, Mexico State Prosecutor Carlos Manuel Salas said, referring to the many migrants who ride atop trains in Mexico to reach Juarez to avoid having to make the journey by foot. The presence of the Venezuelan mob in Mexico has caused panic among migrants, many of whom are fleeing the very violence TDA created in their homeland. They can do a lot of harm to us. They can make us disappear and many other things they can do to us, Ayari Cedino, a migrant in Juarez waiting to cross into the U.S. told a Spanish-speaking outlet. Kidnapped migrants are often held captive in Juarez until TDA can get a ransom from the migrant's family back home, with many women forced into prostitution. Just 3 weeks ago, Mexican officials rescued 22 migrants who had been kidnapped in